I'm Jason Klamm, and this is the Comedy on Vinyl podcast. The year is 1984. The album is This Is Spinal Tap, the soundtrack. The artist is Spinal Tap. My guest is Brock Wilbur. Thank you for being here.
Oh, it's good to be here.
Okay, so you picked this first. Mm-hmm. Then you're like, maybe we could do Metalocalypse. And then I'm like, well, I'm kind of like stupid when it comes to Metalocalypse. So you said, all right, let's go back to Spinal Tap. So you have something to talk about.
We're all just into quote unquote fake bands.
Yeah.
So that's we can just dive into that genre.
Exactly. So we talked about
right after we get over this picture of you with the guy from the Jinx.
It's me and Gore Vidal.
Okay.
Yeah, close enough. It's fine, or the guy from the Jinx. But then there's my, the McFlys are hanging out on the wall too. But yeah, me and Gore Vidal.
Your house has so much. It's just stuff. It's all this. It's all this stuff. And I want. You've built your own Lego Monopoly board, and I'm just gonna look at that the whole episode.
That's the Lego Cheers bar that I'm working on.
Oh my God! You were blocking the Cheers bar with your body. I wasn't prepared for that. Is that a Keanu Reeves behind it?
What? No, this is George Harrison, a McFarlane of the. I didn't even care for Yellow Submarine as a kid. I'm just like, I like the Beatles. I'll get that, and I got George Harrison for whatever reason.
I've been on the vinyls plowing back through the Beatles anthologies lately, which was how I first heard most of those songs as a kid.
Yeah.
So I still think that they're the superior Beatles songs.
Sure, yeah.
I know that that's not right.
Right, but no, I actually get that too, because I always think, well, no, I've been listening to them from the album since I was little. I'm like, no, that's not true. That's not true. The anthology really, if I don't hear this weird, version of it, I'm like, this is not the right. Oh, that's right, because this is the real song. Yeah.
And some of them are so weird and saying way off. Like, what if we did it like a polka? And you're like, that's not how Because was supposed to be.
Yeah. Why don't they fuck up in the middle? Why is Paul not making some weird noise? Or,
Speaking of bands that were quote-unquote real, we're going to take on the Beatles right off the...
Do it.
No, but the Metalocalypse, the idea of that cartoon show is that there's a metal band that exists that's 100 times more popular than the Beatles.
Yes, right.
So people all over the world are, just commit suicide at their shows. People like nations go to war over albums not being released on time, things like that.
So good.
And Brendan Small, who voiced Brendan Small in the show Home Movies, went from being the little kid in that to voicing most of the characters on this and doing all the music. And of course they toured and it became a real band. And I remember each time one of the albums would come out, sitting down to try and work through it on guitar and just being like, no, I haven't tried doing metal music in a few years, and just shredding my fingers. There's a very funny YouTube clip from when the show first came out that's just obviously him in front of a webcam being forced to do it, where somebody was like, hey, Brendan Small, why don't you teach people how to play the Metalocalypse opening theme? And so he stands there and he's like, all right, well, the first part goes like, all right, you got that. And then the second part is okay, so you got that, and you're just like, no one in the world got that. He spends about a minute trying to teach idiot. That's what you saw what I did. It's fine. There's not even a close up on the frets. But everything in the fake band thing comes back to the idea that you have to do it so well, otherwise it's not funny. And even in the bands that aren't real bands but are fake bands, I remember when the Tenacious D album first came out and being like, why is Dave Grohl playing drums on this? That's too much effort for what this is.
Right.
And then being like, oh yeah, Dave Grohl has to play drums on this because Wonder Boy has to be that level, or else it doesn't work.
Right. That's the thing that comes up. I think we've only done this album once before, but we also did it with the Ruddles. It always comes up where if it's got, it doesn't have to be an exact replica of anything, but it has to be professional as fuck and it has to be tight. And
it goes so much further. There's a song that's comprised entirely of electric bass guitars about big bottoms. That's an insane thing to do, but to pull it off musically as well as they do it is even crazier. And then for the rest of time, anytime somebody does a song with more than one basses in it, you're like, the Spinal Tap reference that you're doing there is kind of
right. The other thing too is I do often wonder, because I'm not musically all that educated, but that's fine. I feel like while they did obviously not invent hair metal, obviously they're playing with a thing we're familiar with. It got worse after this movie. Like, it really did. Like, and I just wonder.
There had to have been musicians that saw it that were just like, yeah, I want to do that.
Right.
Like, no sense of like that this is taking the piss out of anyone.
Yeah.
I want that bus. I want that girlfriend who knows the signs. Like, it'll be fine.
Do you have a favorite song? We can start there. Do you have a favorite song on here? I can pull up the track list too. This is always where I get kind of fucked.
Yeah, there's. I love that the only song that is like inherently sort of funny is "Sex Farm."
Yeah.
So that one. Rock and Roll Creation is probably my favorite.
Okay, it is solid. I was just listening to that too.
Oh, and I forgot to listen to the Flower People and Give Me Some Money are on here. Give Me Some Money is maybe the best song on here. Like it pops into my head all of the time.
For some reason, Cups and Cakes, I don't know why, is my favorite on the whole thing.
And Cups and Cakes. Yeah.
It's so stupid, though. Like, I mean, just like, I love that they're exploring this evolution of rock, but it's this total false, like, maybe not false for some people, but like going from this fucking, they've got a Flower Child variation, they've got this like Britpop variation, and then they settle on shitty metal. Like, I just love
I mean,
that.
the Stones did disco. Like, people have done worse.
That is true. When did you first see it, or did you hear it first? I'm wondering. Some people.
Oh, I saw when I was a kid in like the early 90s or so, they did that series of like Intel ads that Spinal Tap was in.
Yes. Yeah.
Where they were sort of getting back together and stuff, and my dad was just exploding with laughter, and I was like, I don't know who this is. And he was like, oh, I failed as a rock and roll father. We got to credit, because my dad has been in a rock band for 35 years. He formed a band with his coworkers at a bank for a Christmas party 35 years ago called the Last National Band, and
Awesome.
they dress up as the Blues Brothers. Everybody in the band wears the sunglasses and the hat and the tie, and they started playing that Christmas party and stuff, and they do 50s, 60s, 70s rock covers, and then people in small Kansas towns started being like, would you come play like our street fair or our beer festival or something? And they've just been doing it sort of ever since, in addition to whatever their day jobs are.
So awesome.
So like they played a New Year's Eve show the other night, and they've played that New Year's Eve show with REO Speedwagon in Kansas and Foghat and people like that before.
Awesome.
And that's my version of a fake band. Is like my dad is, and even when they first formed it, my mom was like, well, you're not going to leave me at home while you go get drunk with your friends. So my mom's in the band too. She's the B3 organ player, and sort of grow up with two parents in a rock band was pretty great.
Oh my God, that's fucking fantastic.
So yeah, they sat me down and showed me Spinal Tap, and I was like, I appreciate that I saw it then, because there's nothing worse than trying to show somebody Spinal Tap now, because they know it from references, and they know it from things that have referenced it or have also done it. So there's nothing new to be seen when you see it.
Yeah.
Like, you're like, oh, I guess I inherently knew this culturally. It's not funny.
Yeah, it's really hard to separate yourself from what you already know. Like, you could try, but it would be kind of be false enjoyment of it, maybe. I don't know. I could be wrong. Did they like it from like a musical perspective? Like, were they like, oh, I get this because I know musicians, or were they just like, this is just funny?
I think that they both had experienced on smaller scales those sort of problems with touring and things like that. And my dad had tried much more seriously to be a touring musician when he was a kid. He was up late his first semester of college in a pre-med program, and he could hear a party outside while him and his roommate were inside attempting to determine the freezing point of urine for a test. And they both looked at each other and said, you want to quit and just do music? And so they did. Like, that was the end of pre-med.
Holy shit.
And he opened a little recording studio. My dad actually, he used to do full-time radio jingles, because there used to be a big industry for that, because not only would you hire somebody to make a jingle for your business, they do 8 or 10 different variations in length on the song for different radio spots. They do like a 30-minute version of it for your hold music for things like that and so on.
Yeah.
And then in like the late 80s, early 90s, somebody had the idea at a radio station. It's like, what if we just had our DJs record these radio spots over backing rock tracks? And then that whole industry died overnight. But my dad had done very well in that for a number of years, and because it was a small town in Kansas, some of those like jingles for businesses will pop up every once in a while, or like parody songs he wrote just for our hometown, like the story of the Great Salina Pothole, which is about how there were too many potholes in town and people were falling into them and whole cars and pets were disappearing, with all these weird sound effects in the background. Like somebody I went to school with, their parents dug up like a tape of that at one point and brought it to me. I was like, no one in my family obviously ever told me about any of these things. So they were just fun things to find along the road over the years. Yeah. Dad, you wrote a song about potholes that's pretty wacky. We should talk about this.
Well, okay, so where are you originally from?
Salina, Kansas.
Salina, Kansas. That's what I thought. Okay. And where is that? What's the nearest metropolitan area?
Nothing.
Okay.
It is 1,500 miles from both New York and LA. It is the geographic center of nowhere. Which is where I tried to start a record label in my youth, and that doesn't work either. Just too far from anything to be anything.
Did your parents also introduce you to comedy, other than Spinal Tap?
Yeah, I guess so. You might be a redneck if...
oh, shit.
We would always sit around and watch like Seinfeld and Frasier and stuff together, which was very funny to me because they didn't think that Cheers was appropriate for me. I think because of the drinking element.
Oh, okay.
So I watched Frasier for like a decade, not understanding it was a spinoff of something else.
Holy shit.
And then I saw a Cheers episode. I was like, it's that actor. And they're like, Frasier, come here. I was like, what is happening? Why did they travel back in time? Who are these people?
Oh my God, that's amazing.
Why is he more personable, but also a bigger ass? There's so much happening here.
Holy crap, that's fantastic. If it had only been the episode where he says that his father's dead, your mind would have been blown because it's, you know, big.
Or the one where where the actor that will play his father is at the bar writing jingles for everybody.
That's right.
Oh, we tied it all back in.
Yes. That's right. Holy fuck, I forgot about that one. Oh my God.
It's Yankee Doodle. Yeah. Everyone loves Yankee Doodle.
Oh my God! I can't wait to make a Lego Frasier now that you say that.
Lego Frasier.
I don't know where I'm going to find a balding. I mean, it wasn't as balding that anyway. I could go on for hours about Lego Frasier. Okay, so they introduced you to Spinal Tap. Was it just a thing that you knew, or that you kept watching, or did you buy the album? Did they have the album? Like, when did you first get a chance to like listen through this shit?
I think they bought me the album. I think we were in a Music Land or a Sam Goody later that week, and we got the album.
That's awesome.
There was some intrepidation about that. My family was very big on not letting me have stuff that worshipped the devil, and I think that they understood that I couldn't possibly read far enough into this that this was actual devil worship.
Right.
But like no Marilyn Manson, no Ozzy Osbourne, none of the things like that. But Spinal Tap. Maybe that's the dipping the toe in.
I love that Cheers wasn't appropriate, yet Big Bottom perfectly fine. Some of the lyrics on this there's some of the filthiest, stupidest double entendres. Yeah. But maybe that's why they're double entendres. So if you're young, maybe you're not going to get
For a while, I thought Sex Farm, a few years ago, I was thinking Sex Farm wasn't that funny because it was just too stupid. And then I remember that AC/DC songs have verses. Like, that's a thing that every 6 months I'll just remember, oh, those songs have verses, and I'll look up the lyrics, and there's not a good AC/DC lyric ever. Not ever. I think it started when I sat down with a friend, and we were like, hey, I heard Dirty Deeds Done Dirt Cheap on the radio, and I'd like to do like a really sexual, like slow R&B kind of cover of that. And then we started looking at the lyrics, and in the verses of that, what is that even? Like, the second verse is about you want to kidnap somebody for sex, but maybe they should be murdered for it. Like, none of it. Something's about getting like a bad grade in school, and you're just like, oh yeah, I forget 80% of this is about teachers and school not being so great, and it's just all so bizarre.
Holy shit! Yeah, there are these weird like personas that enter into the music of any. Again, the thing about AC/DC is like I wouldn't have noticed that. I like the sound of it. I'm okay with the sound of AC/DC. I'm not a big fan, but like I would never have noticed the lyrics in that ever. Like I just Dirty Deeds Done Dirt Cheap is what I remember.
They're all chorus songs that are the title.
Yeah, and then the one song that begins, it sounds like it begins, "She was a fax machine." I know that's not what he says, but that's what it sounds like. He says sex machine, I believe, but it sounds like fax machine.
Rock and Roll All Night.
Yeah.
No.
Don't. No. Okay, all right, because, okay, so is there one on here, well, they're not all, man, is there one on here that seems the most legit rock to you, and is that going to be your favorite, or is there anything, like, just that feels more, the most genuine, and maybe the least, like, I don't know, it's hard to say, because I'm not a music person. I mean, I like music, I'm not.
I mean, they're all, and that's the point. Like, none of these are intentionally funny songs. Like,
Sure.
there are, like, Hellhole could have been a Kiss song,
Yeah.
like that, or really anybody in that time. It's about living in a terrible place, and it's being a kind of upset about it. And then there's that giant gospel-sized chorus behind it. You're like, okay. And Tonight I'm Gonna Rock You Tonight, perfect. Like, that's. I mean, things like Rock and Roll Creation, as much as I like them, that starts to get into that more theatrical side, but that's its own genre, just like Stonehenge is.
I do suppose it is kind of sweeping. It covers every different type of rock song that there was at the time.
Very important to have a song about America that doesn't really know what it's trying to do or say. Yeah, Tonight I'm Gonna Rock You Tonight is just one of those things that can live forever. It can go anywhere. Anyone can do it straight or funny or whatever they want to do, because that's not any better or worse than any Lenny Kravitz song. It's not a...
Is there anything about it, like, for me, I feel like there's this separation. We were talking earlier very quickly about A Mighty Wind, and that you haven't gotten into it yet. Like, it's a big thing for me, but I think maybe it's because, like, rock and roll has always been unapproachable to me, and while folk isn't, it's easier for me to make fun of in my head. I feel like that, like, rock is just like, well, that sounds like other rock music. It's so good. I feel like the folk stuff maybe is more obviously funny. Maybe I could be wrong.
That makes sense.
You know?
Yeah, there is a part of that I can play all of the songs on that album on the guitar, and I can't do that as easily for Mighty Wind, or I haven't sat down to do that kind of thing because it didn't speak to me in the same way. But yeah, there is and there is something about the musicianship of that's so interesting in a way that it wouldn't be done today, because you can find footage of them touring and doing these songs live, and it sounds just like they do on the album. It's not, they were talented enough to write and produce this, and they really nailed it. And it's hard to think of a modern equivalent, especially if you were to start doing a comedy movie, of getting actors that cared enough to put in the time and work to make this and then tour behind it and learn and write. Like, you just couldn't hire people to do this. You have to find people that are willing to do this, and then to be able to do something that sounds as good live as it does in the studio. You're not gonna, we don't do that many big music movies anymore, but like the cast of Gem and the Holograms reboot isn't gonna go out and they didn't play their instruments ever.
Yeah.
So it's all just Pro Tooly kind of stuff. You're not gonna get anybody from that, what was the awful DJ movie this year, We Are Your Friends. And that's just laptop rock. He just has to hit the button, and I don't think he can do that based on...
Have you ever written funny music yourself?
I tried to do a funny music sort of film a few years ago, and it just became way too much work. And the impetus for it was one of those things. My sister goes to a mega church in Kansas, and at their mega church, she's since left, which makes me feel much better about it.
Okay.
But they had this group that would come through, and they're playing for 250,000 people. And they're doing this around the country at mega churches, making more money in a day than I'll ever see in my lifetime. And the concept of this group was that they get on stage, they don't have any songs. They don't have any songs. They get on stage in front of 250,000 people, and they don't have any songs. And they just start strumming their instruments. Not notes, not chords, just strumming open strings. And they wait for the Spirit of the Lord to move through them. and then they improvise music through the Spirit of the Lord. And I saw it, and I was like, no one on that stage knows how to play an instrument. That they just came up with the craziest goddamn lie that they could think of. Well, if it doesn't sound good, that's because that's what God wanted today.
Yeah.
And everyone just hands in the air like, this is the power of God. And I was like, is no one seeing this? Is no one seeing what I'm saying?
Fuck.
And I tried to sit down and be like, if you got your friends to learn 3 chords each, you could do that. And I tried to do a short film where I did it, and at some point I realized like there wasn't anything nearly as funny as the fact it's actually happening. Because if you tried to make that movie, people would be like, "Screw you! No one's that dumb."
Right.
Then I just keep seeing it happen. I'm like, this isn't. That's not. No, you're being tricked. You have to know this is a bad dumb trick, right?
Oh my God.
So that's and it always reminds me of the South Park episode where the kids get together and they have to download all the music to figure out their styles before they learn to play their instruments. Like, oh, Kenny's more into a Primus prog rock kind of thing. I was like, yeah, I imagine that's what their first band meeting was too. Like, I'm more into like Sublime and Incubus, but I've never played the drums. So let's just say Jesus. Let's try the Jesus route.
Can you imagine if that happened with comedy? You got an improv group up who had never done comedy before. Do you think they could find their way?
I'm not sure. I haven't seen that.
Yeah, okay. All right.
I thought you were doing it with stand-up. I was like, yeah, I think I've seen that a bunch. just a guy at a mic. What else? I see people 10 years in that are still doing that. That's not a new thing.
I'm so scared of going to open mics just to see that. Like, I know some people really enjoy watching people flounder and fall apart on stage, but I couldn't handle it. I'd feel so bad. I'd want to either leave, cry, or just put them out of their misery.
And that's a fun comparison that friends from New York have made, is that in New York everyone is brutally honest with each other. So people are always telling each other like, you don't need to do this, you can get out. And everyone in LA is such a delicate starfish that a lot of people are like, good set, and next time it'll really. And I was like, oh, there are people that somebody could be honest with them at some point. It's been 15 years. Maybe it's not going to click.
Right.
There is a comic that a few of my friends and I do shows with, and after every show, most of the time he's near the point of tears at some point, which is uncomfortable. But after every show, he's always coming up and being like, "Man, that was a rough set. I don't know what went wrong that time." And it's been years of this, so we're like, "Okay, but can you think of a set that went well? Can you tell me about a time that you did comedy and it was for both your enjoyment and the enjoyment of an audience, and it was, well, tonight was just off." No, like, see the pattern with me. Come on, man.
Oh man, yeah, that's rough. What the funny thing is, like, I've talked about, like, you've just kind of disproven something I've talked about before, which is that, like, music I've always said is harder to fake than, I think, maybe being funny for a bit. Like, I think you can get off on charm with being funny for a little until people realize you're full of shit. You can't charm people into thinking you can play guitar. I don't think. I could be. Am I wrong?
I feel like the easier thing about music is that if you are playing a song, most of the time people will shut the fuck up. They will they will wait until you're done with the song, and then there's comedy people talk over everything all the time, but if you're playing a song, mostly people are going to wait until you're done to offer a thing. So if you can do a chord, you can keep people's attention for a few minutes, and it's very, especially when you get into outside of acoustic stuff. The lead singer of the Thermals up in Portland has been doing comedy now for a year or so.
Really?
He got into Hutch Harris, awesome dude. But he was running an open mic I was at, and I was like, "What are you doing? Like, you get to be funny on stage for people that already know you and like you all over the world. You've written at least 3 songs that I can't listen to without crying. What are you doing starting over again 18 years in, hitting up open mics and doing Holy comedy? An awful thing, an awful profession with no rewards. Why would you do this?" He's like, "Oh, it's kind of fun, and I like to learn." And he's like, "It is a different thing in a Thermals show because we go out and I can say funny stuff, but it's mostly a 40-minute blast of sound, and then we're done, and then everyone cheers. And in comedy, every 8 seconds or so there's a pause, and then you really have to check back in and see how people are doing with stuff. And I was like, yeah, it's not good. Your other thing is such a better, don't do this.
Right. Oh,
maybe Hutch will be the one that I finally team up with, and we'll do our comedy band.
That would be fantastic. My God. Do you have a favorite bit in the movie? Because there's so much. Like, first of all, it's responsible for so many people thinking they can do improv, and that includes myself years ago. And it's responsible for a lot of people thinking that fake documentaries are the best thing in the world. And in a lot of cases,
that's the worst part.
Yeah, like there's so much stuff. And again, this is talking from somebody whose first movie is a fake documentary. I'm fully aware, like the things that makes you think you can do. Do you have a favorite part, and then what do you think of its effect on like comedy? Because it's, I don't know.
As I grow, I think more of my favorite parts revolve around the manager and the business side of things, as he tries to keep that sort of thing in line.
Yeah.
At about the start, he starts walking around with just the rugby bat full time. Just good to have a bat. Wood, it's useful. All of I rewatched it a few years ago when I was in a somewhat destructive relationship, and suddenly the destructive girlfriend storyline, who kept inserting herself into the band's business, I was like, oh, I see that. That's the thing. I think its effect on comedy is less so than its effect on perhaps all documentaries, and especially on music stuff. Mm-hmm. Like there's a Radiohead documentary a few years back called Meeting People is Easy, which is directed by Grant G., which is a tour film traveling around with them right after OK Computer comes out and they become the biggest band in the world.
Yeah.
And they're just miserable. They're so goddamn miserable all of the time, every day. And it's shot like a music video from start to finish.
Oh, wow.
So it just shows them constantly having flash photography taken in stupid photo shoots. Like there's one where Tom York's face is in a copy machine, and so it's just him having the Xerox light go over his face 100 times while he's clearly having a headache.
Oh my God.
There's a footage of them trying to get in to their own after show party, and Tom York isn't on the list, and the bouncer makes fun of him until he leaves.
Holy shit.
It's just all them. It's them touring the world and never being able to see anything except for the inside of a bus or the backstage of the venue. Like we're in Berlin. I haven't seen Berlin. I'll never see.
My God.
Just so miserable and sad, set to the music of Radiohead. And mostly like stuff from their live shows, and like the sounds of them like mic checking and stuff, and trying to write new music where the only time that they have to try to do that is in the mic checks before the show. But no one wants to. It's this thoroughly miserable thing, and you're like, why would anyone ever want to do this? But having watched Spinal Tap set me up for that idea going in of how funny this can be, and I just think to me it's one of the funniest movies I've ever seen because of that. Because when you go and I know that there are parts, I know that it's smart and well done, and certainly that fits with the themes of alienation and stuff that they were going for, and the music video director is not unaware of what's happening there. But yeah, it is like watching an 88-minute stress headache play out over a fax machine, and it's just great. It's so great. But I think that, Spinal Tap sets up just the idea that you can have that kind of film, because if you look at things that the other films in that genre that try to do, touring band stuff, you've got stuff like U2's Rattle and Hum, which is such a over the top. Look, we love black people. I gotta say how much we love black people here at U2. Just them touring around and talking about how great they are, and who could possibly ever want that? No one wanted that. They can't want that to still be there. I think it sets up an air of humility and honesty that you can't just do a marketing film. You can't just be like, here's how awesome it is to be me anymore.
Yeah. Because
everyone knows that's just not what happens.
Yeah.
So if there is one thing that the fake band movie gives to us, it's the idea that you have to be more truthful in documentaries about musicians and the touring experience.
My God, I wouldn't have thought about it that way, but yeah, there can't. First of all, there's not a musician out there who hasn't seen this movie,
right?
You know, there's not. I don't think there's a documentarian who's worth their salt who hasn't seen this movie. So it's a very good point. Like, it's perfect. It's also given us, unfortunately, the fucking term rockumentary, which people take seriously now. That's amazing. That's a wonderful prank to pull on pop culture.
When they started doing all these musicals on Broadway that are like, we're using the music of Billy Joel to tell the history of AIDS, I started using the term reusical for that, and I keep waiting for that to catch on.
It should. That's beautiful.
Yeah. They call them jukebox musicals, and I'm like, that's not what this is.
No, it needs a single word. That's fantastic. Holy fuck. Now makes me think if it's I don't think they're ever going to get Monty Python and try and turn this into a stage thing where other people are playing them, because I feel like that would kill it. That's the thing I love about it, is because this movie has this element of since the movie's come out and they've done more stuff, it's got the element of performance art, because when they're doing it, they're in character. They don't leave character ever. And it's not because they're fucking they're not method actors. They're just committed to this fucking dumb joke.
Right.
This dumb joke that they are these idiots. Like, that's it. We're stupid guys who play dumb music, but we do it really well. And that simple joke that can carry them for 30 plus years now, that's pretty impressive. I mean, there's more to it than that.
Right.
Like, that's the basics of it.
It also gave us Spinal Tap 2.
Yes, right, which I've only seen parts of. I've never seen all of it. Break Like the Wind, right? Is that the name of it? Or is that just the album?
It's not...
Shit, what's the name of the actual thing?
We don't have to talk about that one.
Okay, I have not seen all of it, so...
Which is perhaps the thing that more people should see if they're gonna... Like, that should be the new rule. If you show somebody Spinal Tap and they're like, wow, fake bands and mockumentaries, that's everything. You have to be like, now hold on. Because those same guys couldn't do it a second time. So, like, understand that you can't either.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a really good point. Like, do you like Waiting for Guffman?
I do.
Okay.
I do. I love the rest of the movies. I like Mighty Wind. It's just never clicked for me. And there's the thing about Spinal Tap too, that it's just such a testament to editing, and maybe more so than a lot of what it gives us about documentary filmmaking, is just that's how that thing worked. They were able to improv the thing, but what they improved was hundreds and hundreds of hours of film and footage, and what they edited it into made sense and made everyone look good in a cohesive way. And that's so...
I wonder now what this would have to look like today to be a very successful fake documentary, because a lot of the documentaries I watch are so fucking, like, some of my favorite, like, have you ever seen Beauty is Embarrassing? It's about Wayne White. Wayne White he's been on the show before. He was one of the production designers and stuff on Pee-wee's Playhouse.
Oh, fun.
It's just a documentary about his process and about how pure this guy is. It's beautiful. And I feel like that's where you have to go next if you're going to do a fake documentary. You have to do this. You have to, like... but how do you do that in a funny way? I don't know. How do you satirize finding the beauty in life? Like, that's what so many of these things are... You know what I mean? But I feel like that's also important
Frank Capra dark right there.
Right? You know? So I don't know. Like, there's this movie called Twinsters on Netflix. It's just cute about these twins finding each other. Didn't know they existed. Like, that's what it is. It's all, like, the most successful documentaries about the beauty in life.
Well, no, the most successful documentaries are long-term murder porn.
That is true, yeah.
At this point.
That was actually going to be the next thing I was going to say, yeah. Oh.
See, one of the members of Spinal Tap has to maybe murder another member of Spinal Tap and be framed by a police department and railroaded through an unjust judicial system.
Right. And then we get to read listicles about why that may or may not be true at all, opinions from people who are not legal folks. It's great. It's great.
I do love the whole genre of new crime, because all these documentaries always have somebody, and in the Jinx, it's the Jinx, and in Making a Murder, it's so many of these secondary characters. But so many of these people are so funny. They're such funny, impossible characters that if you wrote, no one would believe you. And you spend the whole time being like, that's like a real person with, like, power out in the world, who has the power of life and death over multiple people. Yeah. And I don't know, what a wacky dude.
That's upsetting. I have not seen it. I don't know if I can handle it. I gotta... Like I said, I'd love to watch the ones about beauty, but I would love to see Something really upsetting about beauty.
I think that's the name of our new spin-off podcast, Something Really Upsetting About Beauty.
Yep. Do you have other fake bands or other like that you really enjoy, or like other bands and other movies that you enjoy? Like, I love That Thing You Do. I really love that movie.
I have a band we haven't played in a little while, but we're called the 6090s. We only cover one-hit wonders from the 60s and the 90s. And so That Thing You Do, one day I was like, well, we have to. That's both.
Yeah.
One fictionally and one really. That song has to be in there.
Of course it does.
Yeah, that movie is so embarrassingly good.
Mm-hmm. It's solid. It's a very... Have you seen the director's cut of that movie?
I have not. There's a director's cut?
There is. And I actually... There are a couple
is
things...
Is it way darker? There's more murders.
Right.
It's so weird.
There's a couple bits that are like... They're not too masturbatory, but they're a little longer than they ought to be. But for the most part, it fleshes out characters that aren't fleshed out in the regular movie, and it's really good.
Originally, Shades was called Blades because he was the killer. Do you see? Do you see where we're going?
It'd be fucking fantastic.
to do one of those horror movie edits of that, where it's just all spooky music underneath. Ladies, he's take.
I mean, it wouldn't the murderer have to be the bass player because he doesn't have a real name? Right? Like, he's got an alias, he's military, or at least he's going into the military. Yeah. Like, maybe
he's disappearing.
Exactly. So, like, he seems the most suspicious to me. Except for Wolfman. He creeps me out. Although he can play a lick on a bass, that guy.
I don't know, maybe one of the Christian parents.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
They've got to stop rock and roll by any means necessary.
Did Spinal Tap open up your comedy world or music world at all? Like, did it make you go listen to other things in particular, or were you already sort of where you were at in terms of music, and this just added on to what you already loved?
I think this actually, at the time, enhanced my love of metal.
Yeah.
Because I was just getting into music, and basically the only thing I liked was Beck. And anything outside of that didn't really suit me. And everything about the existence of Kurt Cobain, Nirvana taught a generation of kids that they could play guitar without having to go to the Guitar Technical Institute to learn how to play a Kansas song. No one needs to know the solo to Dust in the Wind. You can just slide an Allen wrench against your guitar with a bunch of effects pedals plugged in. Congrats, you're Rage Against the Machine, and everybody loves it. And so the idea of technically proficient, like, music on that level was verboten. And it was not something that was particularly interesting to me. And it was actually getting into playing some of the songs from this that I found an interest and a like for performing that, but also listening to it. And I think that led... It took fake hair metal to get me to like actual metal. Like, I feel like my dad tried to get me to listen to the Guns N' Roses Appetite for Destruction album for like 10 years. And I was like, nope, none of this is for me. And then one day I was like, oh yeah, Welcome to the Jungle makes sense right now. I get it. This very, very long song.
That's awesome. You don't... so wait, when were we talking about when you would have rediscovered that, for instance? Like, how old were you?
95, 96 is about that time, because I'd never cared about music up to that point. Like, I appreciated my parents were in a band.
Yeah.
And I liked Blues Brothers as a movie, and that was speaking of fake bands, there we are.
What were we fucking thinking? Fucking love that movie. And that's another one that's also had an unfortunate negative effect on the world of pop culture, because if you live in fucking Hollywood, you see shitty renditions and shitty people playing the Blues Brothers all the time.
Yes.
And it's a great movie. Don't ruin it. You know what? I think your dad has a lock on it. Your dad's allowed to do it.
Is it a great movie?
I think it is. I do think so. It's long. I think it's more of a trek than people will give it credit for.
It is such a long movie.
Yeah. It's kind of
Have you seen the director's cut?
Don't tell me that's real.
That is real. It's up on the... It's literally just more car chases.
Oh, no.
Like, they cut car chases from that movie. There are still more car chases.
I mean, that, to be fair, like, as a kid, the shit I remember the most is a couple musical bits and obviously the car chases.
Yeah.
That is the shit you remember the most.
It's nothing but cop cars hitting other cop cars forever, like monkeys churning out Shakespeare.
That and the bit where they're singing Stand By Your Man. That thing always kind of stands out.
And where their ex-girlfriend has a rocket launcher.
Yeah, yeah.
The sexual politics of the Blues Brothers is a complicated thing.
It really is. Wait, so the thing is, like, the reason I asked about, like, you rediscovering Guns N' Roses then is, like, I feel like there's a point when I was a teenager, or at the very least I got this out early, like, I got my love for ironic appreciation of shit out early. So I was like, haha, like, Journey, haha, Styx. And then eventually I kind of actually did appreciate that stuff. And it took me a while to ever appreciate any metal at all, because I did hate it 100%. So it's interesting that you, like, had a legit appreciation that early in your life for this stuff that a lot of people would be, like, laughing at or not wanting to fully appreciate, you know?
Well, what I liked in place of music up until that point was really mostly just, like, theater and musical theater stuff. So things like Styx are right there. The Kilroy was here sort of thing is just is a whole stage production. So that line into some of it, like, that I couldn't get into the dumber metal stuff, but I could get into the more over-the-top theatrical, like, it's a concept album about time. And you're like, all right, I'm in for that. If I can start picturing the stage show. A few years ago, a friend of mine was approached briefly about doing a reusical using the music of Styx.
Yeah.
And I was like, can I please? And by the time the sentence was out of my mouth, the rights had already disappeared.
Of course,
I was like, also, and I guess that was the joke I was making before. They wanted that to be about AIDS. I was like, I don't know. It's the guys the from the band were like, yeah, somebody should write a musical using our music about some people that have AIDS and are trying to, like, make it and pay rent and stuff. And I was like, I don't know if you know this. I don't know if you know this.
Oh my God.
There's been something similar.
Holy shit.
Also, I love the idea that it's not just some dumb producer somewhere. It Styx themselves being like, I don't know, it should be about, like, a rent and an AIDS. Is that how we should? When I look at our music, that's what I think. We were paying rent and trying not to get AIDS. That's what touring was for us.
There are, like, a few things I love that about rock operas. If we're gonna go there for a split second, just because it is something rentish, I guess, where, like, we get to see the gritty underbelly or whatever, or, like, how people prance through depression or whatever. And then but most of them are Messiah. They're messianic stories, and I feel like that's, like, I actually always want to do one with Journey music. I really wanted to do one with Journey music. And again, I was doing it ironically then, and since then I've been like, no, I actually think it could be really good now that I appreciate it more. But you got to find a good thing that isn't a Messiah, and I don't know what that is. Like, it's always a Messiah.
What's a good alternate for a Messiah?
I don't know. There's got to be some other story where this great giant glowing beautiful music is justified. Like Styx, like, that makes no sense to me. Like, that would have to be a Messiah thing. You know what I mean? Like, that would have to be something huge and gigantic. You know, I mean, fucking, what do you call it? Green Day did it too. They had a Messiah themselves as well, you know, and their thing.
God.
I never saw the show. I like the album plenty, but I never saw the show.
I remember the lead singer of The Killers got in some trouble for saying, like, when Green Day released their American Idiot live show, they did a DVD of their big concert, and they recorded it in England. Mm-hmm. And Brad of Flowers was like, yeah, it takes a lot of balls to do a show about how America is dumb and then record it in another country.
You're right.
And people were real mad at him about that. I was like, that's not incorrect. I don't know what you're...
Yeah. That's pretty funny.
My favorite is, I don't know if you've caught the musical Spring Awakening.
I have not.
Spring Awakening was a German sort of, I guess it was a play or it was a book that they had, like, the turn of the century, that taught children about the dangers of ever even thinking about having sex.
Holy shit.
And if you have sex, you will die.
Good.
And Duncan Sheik wrote a musical about it that's set in like turn of the century Germany in a boarding school.
Oh my God. And
it's goddamned amazing, and it's very satirical of the original thing, but still incorporates the original thing. And it's just this stunningly great musical. And there is an all-deaf production of it that was up here for a little while last year, and it's moved to Broadway because it was that big of a hit.
Holy shit!
Some of my friends are involved with that, and I just so Duncan Sheik has done all the music for the new American Psycho musical too.
Oh, I think you mentioned that on your show.
Yeah, I was like, that's gonna go gangbusters, I think, because you're adapting not a mid-century anti-sex propaganda German pamphlet, so that's a step up. No savior in that one, which is nice.
Yeah. That's a relief, I suppose. Oh my God, I just thought, what's going to be the first documentary that gets turned into a fucking stage show? I think happen. That'll happen.
King of Kong.
Oh my God. Holy shit, you're right. That should happen. Oh wow. Yeah, 100%. Yep, I'm down with that. I really am.
Set to the music of.
They would have to. I mean, it would have to be a reusical, to use your word, and I really like it.
It would have to be a reusical of what's the Canadian band?
Oh, Rush.
Yeah,
Rush. Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
A Rush reusical.
My God.
We're both making the eyes right now. If we should just erase this last part and just go write it ourselves right now.
Oh my God. You know, they are, I mean, they've been talking for years about turning that into, I'm sorry, we're totally getting off track, but they've been talking for years about doing, maybe not, about doing the narrative version of King of Kong.
Right, and with Greg Kinnear as the lead.
Really? That I didn't know. I hope it happens, but it just has gone nowhere because Seth Gordon has such a huge career now. But, like, I want to see that happen. But I also really like the idea of that as a musical. It's
a very funny place we're in film where we're like, this documentary went well. It's what we used to be doing to foreign films. We're like, we'll just remake it so that there aren't subtitles. We're like, let's remake these documentaries, but with, like, prettier people.
Right.
And like a sex line and like a sexual storyline. Like that's what this needed.
Oh my God. Yeah, that's a good point. And I wonder
when they were like, we're going to do King of Kong with Greg Kinnear, like, yeah, but why? But still, like, I'll go. It's fine. I'm not above being the problem.
Oh my God. Sorry. So let's try and get back on track with a little more Spinal Tap a little bit, I guess. So did you say you can play every song on this album? Have you learned all the songs on the album?
I used to know them all pretty well. Yeah, some of the solos were a little tricky to get into, but you get there. I do remember sitting down with two friends and working through Big Bottom on a couple of basses and just being like, it's just this bouncy boom boom boom, like it's impossible not to do the dance move with it while you're going. It's just such a stupid thing. Oh, my favorite part of the movie is the keyboard player. I don't know why. Vig Savage?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, every shot of him doing his creepy Igor face and then just sliding down some synth line somewhere. You're just like, that guy. Yeah. That guy knew exactly who to be.
I do too. I really kind of love that, like, there is this undercurrent with the really well put together music and even this goofy, their version of improv. It is not improv as you see anywhere else. They will say the stupidest shit and then they're like, no, this is now committed to the history of the characters. You know? Including a drummer who explodes, which is the dumbest, and one of the things people remember the most about it, but it is one of the dumbest jokes in the whole.
It's also the most relatable thing because drummers disappear.
Yeah.
We've all lost a drummer. Like, it's just, they go.
Even Ed Begley Jr. is one of their drummers. You know? Like, that's fantastic. But, like, they'll say the dumbest stuff, like, I'm pretty sure Saucy Jack was invented on the spot. Like, you can see, like, the look on his face. I mean, it's cool, Saucy Jack. Like, he's got this, like, little thing in the side of his corner of his mouth. It's like, you fuck. Like, you can, like, I think that's the thing I love about it, watching it. Like,
is watching the process.
Yeah. Like, and maybe you shouldn't think that's funny, but it's really hilarious to me. Like, to see through, like, watch the fucking cogs turn every time they'll make up a dumb joke. Like, there's actually one in A Mighty Wind that is fantastic, where they talk about how they had a shitty record label where there was, like, they would have no hole in the center and you had to teeter it on top of, like, it was the dumbest fucking joke, but, like, you could see them inventing it and they're like, oh, we have to go along with this. And they'll go along with the dumbest premises. If you go to, like, improv school now, your teacher at the end of that would be like, okay, but this isn't believable, this doesn't work, blah, 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 blah. What's the game? Or whatever the fuck they would say.
Which works so well in music because anything is believable.
Yeah. right?
And it's such a good world to do that in because, of course, because it's a place where the stupidest people in the world can have access to whatever they want.
Yeah. Yeah, and then there's the pomposity of them all. Like in a way, I think Harry Shearers is the most pompous in that he's like he's the most laid back.
Yes,
but he's also like there's just like any sincerity that comes out of him is still like is then it's indicated to what he's wearing at all times, which is usually I think
leather
just
straps.
Yeah, it's good God, he just looks like the biggest fucking idiot. He's got the giantest chops and shit. Like,
but the pipe.
Yeah, and the pipe. That's the other thing. That's the thing where he's like, no, this is my Sherlock Holmes. This is my sophisticated English thing. But, like, it's none of it ties together into a complete person. And I really, there's something fantastic about that. And Harry Shearer is one of the guys who's, I feel like, underrated in these because he's the most understated character.
Right.
You know? Because and that's how it's supposed to be. I feel like he's the guy who's like, well, his character is, I'm supposed to be the guy in the background. So he has to play it that way. So he has to play it understated.
Best in show, all of these, he's always just... You're like, I can't tell if you're stealing this right now or not. What are you doing?
Right, yeah. To be willing to sit back and play the character also who's sitting back, that's ballsy. And, like, it makes me watch you. It's going to make me watch you. Because as a kid, I definitely appreciated Michael McKean and why is his name Christopher Guest. I appreciated them more. Because they're more over the top. They're more obvious. Like, do you have a favorite character in the movie? Because I really love Paul Schaefer, now that I think about it. Paul Schaefer is one of my favorite characters in the whole Artie Fuffkin. First of all, that's a great name.
Just here, right on my ass. That'll be... the nanny. I think the nanny...
She's great, too.
She's it's the best acting she's ever done. Like, to believe her as this sort of cutthroat business executive that keeps explaining to them what's wrong with their sexual politics in a Walmart way. It says smell the glove, and it's, do you not see what's wrong with that?
I feel like that's one of those things too, like where you get famous due to a sitcom and people don't appreciate this shit that's in your back catalog.
Right.
I feel like there's some Fran Drescher shit that I probably have no access to and have never seen and just don't realize that she's a genius. But
this is our documentary, Fran Drescher.
Oh yes,
like before the nanny.
That'd be fantastic. She's got a dark backstory, actually. She really does. Really dark. But, like, and then came out of the shit that she went through and became, like, this brilliant...
What is the dark backstory?
She's got a house break-in and rape backstory. Oh, wow. And... Just
like Frasier.
What?
Oh, Kelsey Grammer gets a lot of passes from me because... he had like a sister attacked in front of him.
Holy
and like
shit.
A family member killed in a burglary.
Ooh.
Like his life story, everything that has ever happened to anybody around him is just awful.
Okay, I'd be an alcoholic too, or whatever he is. Yeah, all right.
Whenever somebody's like, he's a conservative, right? I was like,
well,
you know what? That's fine. Yep. He can do that.
Yep. Yep.
He
lives in a world where that shit's possible, that those people are afraid of.
I would build a wall around myself too and fence my if everything bad had ever
Holy crap. Okay then, yeah. So yeah, I give him a pass now too. I had no idea, but yeah, same with her. Like that's why I've always been interested in her because I know she's got this human story. But I'm thinking of her as the fucking nanny, which is like
right.
I enjoyed when I was 12 or whatever. But like, yeah, she's great in this movie. Fantastic. And Paul Schaefer, I have seen people shit on Paul Schaefer. He's a fucking great actor, and he's an underrated genius of a man. And like, I feel like people should go rewatch it for these parts that you don't think about. I also sometimes confuse it and think that Bill Murray's in it because Bill Murray's in the Ruddles. There's so many cameos in the Ruddles that I sometimes think they're in this. Have you seen the Ruddles?
Yes.
Do you like the Ruddles?
I love the Ruddles.
You love the Ruddles?
Yeah.
That's a different one too because we've talked about it before, but that's very specifically like we have to recreate an exact sound, whereas there's more freedom in Spinal Tap to do their own thing.
Well, they do that across the time, but for the stuff that's set in the music that they're making, like the EQing and the production values and the amps and the sounds, like it cost money at that time to make a guitar sound like that kind of guitar.
Okay.
and that from the production side of things, like that was one of the things that always impressed me about it. It gets into that thing is like you have to work so extra hard. It had to be so much harder to make this fake band than it would have been for them to have actually just made this band with the same songs and gone on tour and done it as a serious thing.
Yeah,
like there's that little difference there, and it's so impressive that it exists. And I feel like I never give Rob Reiner credit for any of this.
Yeah, I know. That was actually one of the things that I just noticed in looking on the Wikipedia page, where that he's credited with. Well, it does say all songs written and composed by Christopher Guest, Harry Shearer, Michael McKean, and Rob Reiner. So I don't know which ones he wrote. I literally can't find the vinyl right now. But I had no idea. Also.
Yeah, you forget to give Reiner any credit on that thing, that he was a part of that in such a big way.
Yeah.
And maybe that's just because no one likes Rob Reiner, and so we try not to do that.
I love Rob Reiner.
Yeah.
I like Meathead. I am fine with him. Wait, what was he on recently that was really fucking funny? Oh, maybe I'm thinking of 30 Rock. I feel like he did 30 Rock playing himself. Yes, he did, and it was very funny.
What episode was that?
That was one of the last 2 seasons, and I
okay.
can't remember. It was specifically something about being a celebrity and having some kind of import. It was pretty good.
Oh, that thing that Rob Reiner does now.
Yeah, and he knows he does it, at least. That's a bonus. I give him a pass because he's witnessed 12 murders. Actually, he didn't witness them. Rob Reiner, I'm going to tell everybody now. I'm gonna drop that he's murdered 12 people. He witnessed himself do it.
This is our Witness Something Beautiful podcast, where we just pull up a celebrity and we like serial their dark backstory. We just read it from their Wikipedia page, and we do no real research, and we just sit here and go like, wow, that's messed up. All right, see you guys next week.
Do you ever get worried that like in the future the shit that's going to survive, like maybe the books will all burn up and then digitally only some shit survives, and the one thing that survives about Rob Reiner is the fake conversation we just had about him? Like, so in the future...
I like that you started that with, do you ever worry? I was like, last week I was worrying.
You don't understand. I have thought about this several times. What if the thing I just said somehow magically is the only thing that anybody knows about in the future? Because, like, if you tell a kid this is the truth about life, eventually they're going to believe it, and if they don't have any exposure to anything else, let's say Rob Reiner murders them early so they don't get to learn about life.
Poor example.
They're not going to know that that's not true. So it's, like knowing somebody from a latter day part of their fame, like knowing Orson Welles as the guy from the champagne ads and not as the those are the greatest things the internet's ever given us. Sorry, again.
I worry that sometimes that we're not close enough friends, and then sometimes I worry if we were, this is what would happen. We would just pollute the world with bad celebrity murder gossip.
I mean, I just wrote a whole fake book of fake history because I just thought, I love Weird Al, but wouldn't it be funny if I intentionally tarnished his reputation in my book? Like, I make him not a great guy in my book because I thought it would be funny to do that. Like, because anyhow. Rob Reiner's not a murderer that I know of. He could be. I'm leaving it open to interpretation.
This is going to be so weird that we start this conversation and then it does come out like it was indirect. It was a couple of drunk driving hit and runs.
Right.
But the police have been looking for this for years. They've been looking for that link, and what do you know? God, just this anti-Rob Reiner podcast we created. Press this to vinyl.
You're now going to be called as a witness, though. That's the thing. You realize that, right? Like, okay, so towards the end of the show, what I like to have people do is, in a couple sentences, you're not limited to a couple, but let's say somebody's ever heard Spinal Tap.
Yeah.
Let's say somebody's ever seen Spinal Tap. They only know some of these guys from The Simpsons or whatever other thing they might have seen them in. What's a good reason to listen to this? Why sit down and listen to this issue if you've never heard it? What's important about this album?
What's important about this is that they found a way to do the best and worst of the history of rock and roll simultaneously, and everything you like, you will really like, and everything you don't like, you'll get to laugh at, because it's all just handed to you. Yeah. And there's something very delightful about something that can exist on those levels. Like it is a bizarre thing that you can listen to this album for enjoyment and listen to it as a rock and roll album.
Yeah.
Separate from having to think about, wasn't that a wacky scene? Stonehenge is a great song.
Yes, yeah.
You don't have to just think about the fact that there were some dwarves dancing or trotting upon a model.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it is. It gets to do all those things at the same time.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
That's perfect. I will say this as a side note. I desperately want to see them live. My buddy Jeremy, I think he said his brother saw them live. They're playing Stonehenge. The expectation is tiny Stonehenge.
Uh-huh.
They bring in a Stonehenge that is 2 or 3 times too large.
Oh,
just
no.
to kill your expectation.
Oh, no.
So just to fuck with you. So there's just giant.
Just
there's
too
no
big
room
of
to
a
move around. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah. I love a fuck you like that to your fans. Like, it's not like a genuine fuck you, but it's like, you know what? There's only one other way to play this. You know? Like, it's so goddamn
There's
brilliant.
only one other way.
They really, like, you know, that's like they knew the perfect way to do the joke and they did it. And, God, they are gods. I love these guys.
He moves to a lute at that point in the song. An electric lute.
Yes.
Who writes even from a... it's insane.
Yeah. Yeah.
The musicianship is so good. It's such a...
It's beautiful. It's really like that is like it's it's got this Zeppelin-y feel to it, but I don't really care for Zeppelin, so I really like this song. Like, it's my alternative to Zeppelin.
And all that earlier Brit pop rock stuff and the Flower Child thing, like that's so Zeppelin because Zeppelin got to do those things.
Yeah. Yeah, I was always kind of weirded out when in Mighty Wind I feel like they were just fucking like making fun of themselves because they also do a Flower Child song in that movie, and I feel like the joke is we're obviously 55 and we're playing it as though we're 16, you know. And I think, and so like, but it was very funny, like, or maybe the joke was it looks like we're not aware that we've already done this gag before, like, you know. That's the other thing I wonder too.
That Christopher Guest thing.
Mm-hmm. So watch this damn movie. Listen, seriously, buy the soundtrack though. There are only a few things that are in the movie that aren't on the album, but listen to it. It's a good listening experience.
I want to imagine that somebody listened to this and has not seen Spinal Tap and just heard us make weird asides this whole time.
Right. Fran Drescher, what the fuck are they talking about? Like, yeah, that would be weird. But it's happened. I know it's happened. Like, somebody has to have listened to this before they saw the movie or knew anything about it. Bought it because it's just a black cover. Like,
yeah.
You know, and, okay. Where can people find you? What is there anything coming up? I'm going to try and put this episode up next week. So.
I'm at Brock Wilbur on Twitter, at Brock Wilbur on Instagram, Brock Wilbur on the Facebook, brockwilbur.com for the website. Not big on using other silly names, so that's good. I've got 3 albums up on iTunes of stand-up. I host the Brock Party podcast. I host Laughing at Archaeologists, a Doctor Who podcast.
Awesome.
I write over at inverse.com, which is a really cool thing to come check me out at, and all my stand-up shows and things are listed on the website, or I pimp them out on the rest of the social media. Come say hi and grab a drink.
Awesome. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
This is a ton of fun. You should come back.
Yes.
Maybe even, I feel like you would be very suited to me giving you an album to listen to that you've never heard before.
That sounds about right.
Okay.
Assign me a thing.
Yeah, I've done it. Like, there's some of our best episodes. Joseph Scrimshaw and I talked about a Maury Amsterdam album. Holy fuck, that was one of the best.
I do have to listen to that episode now.
That was good.
The
it was
two
so
of you
much fun.
doing that.
It was great. Oh, shit. Okay, well, listen to the album. Listen to Brock's stuff. All of Brock's stuff. Watch all of Brock's stuff. Read all of Brock's stuff.
Yeah.
Find where he lives. If you email me, I'll give you his home address. And I won't do that. It's a horrible thing to say.
Everyone has it.
And thank you guys for listening. I've got nothing to promote. So, as always, have a good thing. Comedy on Vinyl is a production of Stolen Dress Entertainment. It is produced by Mike Warden and is hosted and edited by Jason Klamm. Our theme song was composed and performed by Richard Levinson. Please visit stolendress.com to listen to our other podcasts, read our blogs, read our tweets, watch our videos, and read our books. Please subscribe on iTunes, and if you like us, give us a 5-star rating and a nice review. You can find us on facebook.com/comedyonvinyl, Twitter @comedyonvinyl, and find everything else at comedyonvinyl.com.